Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my new series, the classic Creepypasta Corner. My name is TheMisfitTestSubject, and I will be your narrator this evening. In this series of videos, I will be going back to scary stories from my youth, and possibly yours, to take a look at how they've held up over the years and to see if they're just as good as we remember them to be. I'll be narrating every story word for word, unless stated otherwise, and afterwards you are free to stay with me for my literary analysis, where I will be expressing my own opinions about the pasta and explaining what I liked and what I feel like the writer could have done better. For our first entry into the series, we will be reading Pale Luna, a forbidden text adventure from a not-so-bygone era. Without further ado, crack your sodas and start your engines as we dive right into Pale Luna. In the last decade and a half, it's become infinitely easier to obtain exactly what you're looking for by way of a couple of keystrokes. The internet has made it all too simple to use a computer to change reality. An abundance of information is merely a search engine away, to the point where it's hard to imagine life is any different. Yet, a generation ago, when the words streaming and torrent were meaningless save for conversations about water, people met face-to-face to conduct software swap parties, trading games and applications on Sharpie-labeled 5 1/4-inch floppies. Of course, most of the time, the meets were a way for frugal, community-minded individuals to trade popular games like King's Quest and Maniac Mansion amongst themselves. However, a few early programming talents designed their own computer games to share amongst their circle of acquaintances, who in turn would pass them on until, if fun and well-designed enough, an independently developed game had its place in the collection of aficionados across the country. Think of it as the 80s equivalent of a viral video. Pale Luna, on the other hand, was never circulated outside of the San Francisco Bay Area. All known copies have long been disposed of. All computers that have ever run the game now detritus buried under layers of filth and polystyrene. This fact is attributed to a number of rather abstruse design choices made by its programmer. Pale Luna was a text adventure in the vein of Zork and Lurking Horror, at a time when said genre was swiftly going out of fashion. Upon booting up the program, the player was presented with an almost completely blank screen, except for the text, "You are in a dark room. Moonlight shines through the window. There is gold in the corner, along with a shovel and a rope. There is a door to the east. Command?" So began the game that one writer for a long out-of-print fanzine described as enigmatic, nonsensical, and completely unplayable. As the only commands that the game would accept were pick up gold, pick up shovel, pick up rope, open door, and go east, the player was soon presented with the following. Reap your reward. Pale Luna smiles at you. You are in a forest. There are paths to the north, west, and east. Command? What quickly infuriated the few who've played the game was the confusing and buggy nature of the second screen onward. Only one of the directional decisions would be the correct one. For example, on this occasion, a command to go in a direction other than north would lead to the system freezing, requiring the operator to hard reboot the entire computer. Furthermore, any subsequent screens seemed to merely repeat the above texts, with the difference being only the directions available. Worse still, the standard text adventure commands appeared to be useless. The only accepted non-movement related prompts were use gold, which caused the game to display the message, "Not here." Use shovel, which brought up, "Not now." And use rope, which prompted the text, "You've already used this." Most who played the game progressed only a couple of screens into it before becoming fed up of having to constantly reboot their devices and tossing the disc in disgust, writing off the experience as a shoddily programmed farce. However, there is one thing about the world of computers that remains true, no matter the era. Some people who use them have way too much time on their hands. A young man by the name of Michael Nevins decided to see if there was more to Pale Luna than what met the eye. 5 hours and 33 screens worth of trial and error and unplugged computer cords later, he finally managed to make the game display different text. The text in this new area read, "Pale Luna smiles wide. There are no paths. Pale Luna smiles wide. The ground is soft. Pale Luna smiles wide. Here. Command?" It was another hour still before Nevin stumbled upon the proper combination of phrases to make the game progress any further. Dig hole, drop gold, then fill hole. This caused the screen to display, "Congratulations, 40.24248, negative 121.4434, upon which the game ceased to accept commands, requiring the user to reboot one last time. After some deliberation, Nevins came to the conclusion that the numbers at the end of the game referred to lines of latitude and longitude. The coordinates led to a point in the sprawling forest that dominated the nearby Lassen Volcanic Park. As he possessed much more free time than he did sense, Nevins vowed to see Pale Luna through to its ending. The next day, armed with a map, a compass, and a shovel, he navigated the park's trails, noting with amusement how each turn he made corresponded roughly to those that he took in-game. Though he initially regretted bringing the cumbersome digging tool on a mere hunch, the path's similarity all but confirmed his suspicions that the journey would end with him face to face with an Insectrix's buried treasure. Out of breath after a tricky struggle to the coordinates, he was pleasantly surprised by a literal stumble upon a patch of uneven dirt. Shoveling as excitedly as he was, it would be an understatement to say that he was taken aback when his heavy strokes unearthed the badly decomposing head of a blonde-haired little girl. Nevins promptly reported the situation to the authorities. The girl was identified as Karen Paulson, age 11, reported as missing to the San Diego Police Department a year and a half prior. Efforts were made to track down the programmer of Pale Luna, but the nearly anonymous legal gray area in which the software swapping community operated inescapably led to many dead ends. Collectors have been known to offer upwards of 6 figures for an authentic copy of the game. The rest of Karen's body was never found. So that was Pale Luna. I hope you enjoyed my reading. If you have no interest in the literary analysis, you may now leave. However, if you do, here's where we begin. So, Pale Luna is a very short and sweet creepypasta, and I feel like that length is a bit of a detriment when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of everything. Because the pasta just has no wiggle room, and it had, no time to build up to the main scary bit at the end, which is the decomposing head. And nothing happens in the actual game itself. It's just a bunch of weird wording that, I guess it's a little bit unsettling, and then just the computer freezing a lot, and you have to brute force it trial and error style. And I feel like there could have been a lot more done with that, maybe if you get a wrong thing too many times, something happens, or something along those lines. As well as this, I feel like the rest of Karen's body never being found is a bit of a dropped ball, because I just feel like there could have been a lot more done with, the rest of the body. It was found somewhere spooky or relevant to the rest of the pasta. I don't know. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, because this pasta is so short. It was in and out in under 30 seconds. Those were my thoughts on the pasta. What are yours? Let me know in the comments down below and give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel as well. That's the best way to tell me you want more of this content. With that said, this is the Misfit Test Subject signing off. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye!